Hey guys, what's up? We're back with another video today, and today I'm doing my Notre Dame Toledo preview and prediction. So as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button right down below. Help me reach 200 subscribers before the end of the year. I am closing in on it. I am only 14 away, so please help me hit that goal by hitting that subscribe button down below. Like this video if you enjoy it. Comment all your thoughts and opinions down below, and make sure that you are ready and hitting that notification bell for every single week. I'll be putting out a Notre Dame preview and prediction. And then I'll be putting out a Bears prediction every week, I think. I'm more focused on the Notre Dame one and then the Bears. And I'll also be putting out a Texas Arkansas video later today. So make sure that you are subscribed for that. And let's get started with today's video. So I'm going to start off with a few notes from the Florida State game. So Notre Dame escaped that game 41-38. Pretty tight matchup there between the number 9 overall team and an unranked team that's kind of rebuilding, and you don't really want to see that in a team that is under their head coach for 12 years and stuff like that. So I was a little bit concerned. There were a lot of highlights in that game for Notre Dame that were by no means a bad game from Notre Dame, but at the same time, I'm also a little bit concerned with the tackling, with some defensive formations, especially with the 3-down linemen and playing a 3-3-5. A little bit concerned about that. A little bit concerned about the linebacker depth at this point with the loss of Maris Luafau and Shane Simon for the season. And then there's other guys that are smaller depth pieces that I'm really concerned that this linebacker core could really be tested, that the depth may or may not be there. Obviously, Toledo, I don't think, is going to be the breaking point for whether that linebacker depth is going to be irreplaceable or stuff like that. But, excuse me, I think that could be important come the future games against teams like Wisconsin and Cincinnati and not North Carolina anymore, because they looked awful against Virginia Tech, especially on the offensive end. So why don't we get into the 3 keys for the Toledo game, and then we'll get into a couple other Notre Dame stuff before we head out, because this should be a quick and easy game. So I wanted to get in a couple of other things before we end today's video. First key to the game is obviously after last weekend's performance on Sunday, you have to be able to tackle. You have to be able to have first contact and tackle. And I expect a Notre Dame team that is a top-tier program with a top-tier weight system, and it's not that Toledo isn't, but you would think that Notre Dame should be able to beat them in power matchups and stuff like that. So you better be able to tackle right away. No questions asked. First person that hits him he goes down right away. I don't want to have 6-7 people tackling one guy and him getting 8 yards on a carry rather than being tackled in the backfield for a 3-yard loss. So tackling is essential and very important to the success of this game, because Notre Dame cannot be losing these battles of physicality. That's something they learned in 2012 with them just physically getting beat up by Alabama. So you have to be able to understand that tackling is a priority. The second key to Saturday's game is running the ball. You have to be able to run the ball more than 2 yards a carry. I didn't mind how they used Chris Tyree. I liked that he was more involved. But Kyron Williams didn't seem to exist in that game. And by no means was it a bad thing, because Jack Cohn had a great passing game. We scored 41 points, 38 in regulation. So I was by no means upset with the passing performance. But you have to be able to have a balanced offense, and that is not something I saw in the play calling. I was very upset with the play calling, because you went from one extreme of a lot of passing to another extreme of a lot of running, and then more passing, stuff like that. And I'm fine, and I understand that why running didn't work in that game, but at the same time, you have to understand one of the reasons why the running didn't work in that game was because they were running the ball, and then they stopped and started passing it. But I think if you're able to have a more balanced game plan, a little bit more nuances and play calling, I think it should be a good motivation to be able to get to certain points. So you have that as the second key. And then the third and final key before we head out today is no turnovers. We cannot be turning the ball over, and I was pretty happy with Jack Cohn. Only having that one interception. He did a couple of throws that were kind of, I will say, wide receivers kind of helped them out there by making sure they weren't interceptions. And the one interception that he did have was something of the Hail Mary at an regulation, and it wasn't his fault, and it wasn't needed. It wasn't actually an interception. So I was pretty happy with that. Overall, I'm excited to see Notre Dame again because I'm excited to see Notre Dame football, but I'm a little bit concerned for the upcoming matchups against Wisconsin and Cincinnati in particular. And just so we know, there may be a live stream for the Wisconsin game. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, I think it's the Wisconsin game. I may do a live stream. But that should be maybe an interesting game to do a live stream. Maybe a Virginia or North Carolina game. But we'll see what is going on there. I don't really have much, just kind of a shorter preview. But as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it. And comment all your thoughts and opinions down below. And make sure that you are watching out for the rest of my football content with the Arkansas-Texas preview coming out, and with the Chicago Bears-Rams prediction coming out. So as always, make sure that you have a great day. Bye.